bundling up to go walking again today. One job should be enough. I've been doing a lot of thinking about like how the crimes have been escalating in my neighborhood and how many contributing factors that there is to that. And I think that for me, I mean, I'm not a mental health professional. But from what I've been observing, there's more and more gaslighting and lying and misinformation being pumped out into the world more and more all the time, right? And not only are these weak-minded parents being affected by it, but their children are being affected by it. And, you know, if there was ever a time to, you know, there were a lot of people who took umbrance to the term defund the police, but they didn't understand the concept behind it, that it's about reallocating the resources into more appropriate services. And I think this is a perfect example of why that needs to happen, because especially given that we've all been through a pandemic for the last almost 2 years, the entire world is going through an incredibly traumatic experience, and people are like, whatever they had underlying the surface is really bubbling up at this point. All the mental illness that was hiding in the shadows is bubbling up at this point. And I think it's pretty clear that the only way you can solve the problem with what's happening in my community, I live in an affluent community, and these people are acting out this way. They're becoming like common criminals at this point. The only way you solve this problem is through mental health services. So even in the affluent neighborhoods, we need more mental health services, because this is not rational behavior. Not by the parents, not by the kids, not by the political networks that are out there gaslighting everybody, not by the people who have been sending crazy people to harass me at my home. I just don't, I think there's too many instances. Like, I've had 4 people try and stay in my house this year. 4 people who all were homeless. What are the fucking odds of that happening? And not a one of them told me they were homeless until they got here. What are the fucking odds, right? Like, I've never had that happen to me in my life before. How many of you can say that that's happened to you? But what's happening with the kids in this neighborhood? They're clearly they're acting out, right? Kids act out when they're being either neglected or abused, or, you know, they've got some sort of trauma happening in their life. We really have to consider the way that we manage society, and it can't always be just, I look at the sheriff that showed up to my house and he refused to put a mask on just to come in and take my report. Even we have the mental health crisis going on within the police department too. We need more mental health services. We have to start allocating resources in that direction, rather than just trying to solve all of our problems by locking people up. That's simply not going to work. Our society is sick. Our society is sick, you guys. And it's affecting all of us, because when somebody has a sickness and then they inflict that negative behavior on other people, then that sickness transfers. It's like this ongoing thing where everybody's always going to be sick, because we're constantly dealing with things that are so stressful and traumatic. We need more mental health services. This is so nuts. I know, and it's inappropriate to even use those types of terms anymore, and I still do it. I apologize.